Yo, what's up, YouTube? This is the DFS Riddler coming at you live with another MLB video for the Tuesday, April the 9th slate. Here to answer all of your DFS riddles and questions that you might have for this slate. Before we get started, please take a moment to comment, like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you can get all of my future content. Picks have been absolutely on fire. Before we get going with today's picks, we'll go over last night's picks real quick from the video. For the pitchers, Bumgarner was a fucking bum. Absolutely shit the bed. Not what I really expected considering his history versus this team, but he put up a 5.3. It is what it is. I had him in my cash line and I still scored 120, so I still cashed. So it's all good. The other pitcher, my SP2, was Eric Lauer. He put up a 19.3. Pretty much made value for his price tag, so I wasn't too disappointed. I also had him in my cash line, and he was part of the 120 that it put up, so not too bad. It definitely did what it needed to do, so good enough. On to the hitters. Rhys Hoskins was a fire pick. He ended up hitting 2 home runs in the game. 2 solo shots, ended up putting 28 DraftKings points up. Whit Merrifield, consistent as ever, ended up putting up an 8. Made value. Jay Bruce, he got a home run, put up a 14. 1 solo shot, definitely crushed it. Malik Smith, that I talked about last night, he ended up not playing in the game, so he was a scratch. In my lineups that I had him in, I ended up pivoting to Andrew McCutchen, who ended up putting up a goose egg, so that didn't really work out. But hey, we're on to a new slate today. It's going to be a really, really good one. A lot of good pitchers in this one to take a look at. Before we do, I just want to talk about Draft Dashboard for a second. This has got to be the best optimizer that you can get out on the market, guys. So many tools on Draft Dashboard that can help you crush the slates. You've got the MLB cheat sheet that'll give you everything from the locks, the best plays of the slate. As you can see, yesterday Christian Yelich was definitely one of them. The top pitchers that are in the best spots to make value. All of your stud bats that are over $4,000. Your mid-range bats from 3.5 to 4K. Your value bats under 3.5, and your home run hitters, which is probably my favorite part of this one. Definitely want to have a lot of home runs in your lineups. As I have noticed in all of my past lineups, that's how you win lots of money. Got to have those guys that have that upside to hit that home run. So definitely a very, very good tool there, guys. Next up is the position optimizer. This position optimizer lets you go to each position and pick out players that are in the best spots based on their draft dashboard ranking. You can select them, load them up into your player pool. Then you head on to your lineup optimizer, head on there, and you can generate multiple lineups with this, guys. This tool right here is probably the best tool on Draft Dashboard. Probably has won me the most money in the past that I've been playing DFS MLB. Definitely very, very important tool to utilize, guys. You can throw all your players in here, like I was saying, create multiple lineups, and then upgrade them as need be to a better draft dashboard ranking, and build the perfect lineup, guys. This tool right here will do it for you. I've got many winning lineups from the lineup optimizer. And last but not least is the sleepers and studs, guys. Probably another one of the most important tools on Draft Dashboard. The sleepers and studs is going to tell you all of the players that are on the slate that have the potential to make value, and they're going to be priced at under $4,000. Sleepers and studs is definitely a good thing to have when you're trying to fit in the very high price bats in your lineups. You definitely got to throw in the value plays in there to be able to fit those high price guys in there. So the sleepers and studs option is definitely a tool that I use very actively, and it's very important, guys. Draft Dashboard has been helping me win tons of money, guys, here lately, and it can help you win tons of money also. It's only $1 to try it out for 30 days, and everybody that's playing DFS has $1 to spend. I mean, if you're playing DFS, you're already spending $1 on it anyways. So why not give Draft Dashboard a shot for $1 for 30 days? It will make your lineups better, guys. It definitely works for me. I wouldn't be talking about it if it didn't work. It definitely helps. Even if you're an experienced player already, or if you know a lot about baseball, this will help you with your lineups, guys. Just all the analytics and all the tools that it has in here and all the stats that it gives you about the players individually. You can't beat this optimizer, guys. And like I was saying, it is only $1 for 30 days. And you can try Draft Dashboard just by clicking the link that's in the description of my video. It'll take you to where you need to go to try it. Just $1 for 30 days, guys. So give it a shot. All right, so we'll move on to the picks for today. Before we look at the picks, I just want to browse over here to the position optimizer and take a look at the pitchers that we have on the slate for today. Obviously, like, the obvious play here is Jacob deGrom. He's a fucking beast. I mean, I don't expect nothing less than 30 fantasy points from him here today. Great play. The only thing though is, guys, is that he is priced at 11,600. His two games opening up this year, he put up a 45 and a 34. So yes, at 11,600, he would pay off that price tag. I do like Jacob deGrom here. However, I wouldn't suggest playing him unless you're playing him in a GPP, because if you were to play Jacob deGrom, you are going to have to go with an SP2 that is not very, very appealing at all. Like, if you want to have any kind of decent bats in your lineup, if you have Jacob deGrom, you're going to have to go with a pitcher that's priced in like the $6,500 range. So if we look at the pitchers here that we have for that, I mean, maybe like Mike Minor in a GPP, I could agree with. I could see that. Arizona does strike out a lot. Maybe Max Fried paired with Jacob deGrom in a GPP versus Colorado, who does strike out a lot as well. But I mean, they could also get blown up. I mean, that's a huge possibility for these pitchers as well in this spot. But I mean, if you were to go with Jacob deGrom, there's no way that you can throw any of these other top-notch pitchers in on the same slate with him and expect to be able to get a freaking decent bat in there at all. All your bats will look like shit, and it's not going to work out. So yeah, I might throw Jacob deGrom in a couple of GPPs on the slate, possibly, but he's not going to be my core pitcher. He's not going to be in my cash slate. Excuse me, guys. The pitchers that I went with for my SP1 is Steven Strasburg. This is a bit of a risky option, considering he's facing the Phillies, who are a really, really good team this year. They bat really, really well, and they have a lot of good hitters. But historically, the Phillies are hitting 35 for 157 against Strasburg. Strasburg is a beast of a pitcher, averaging a 223 batting average versus the Phillies. He gives up a 649 OPS to righties, and there are 6 righties in the lineup. He gives up a little bit of a worse pitch to lefties. There's only 2 lefties, and his best pitch is to a switch batter, which there is 1. Weighted OPS of 644. History of a pretty good batting average. I really like Steven Strasburg in this matchup. Steven Strasburg's first 2 games starting the season, looks like he got a 16 and a 23. Pretty solid. Last 5 versus Philadelphia, though, he does have a 32, a 19, a 4, a 20, and a 24. I think he has a very high potential and make value here. He is one of the higher price tier pitchers at 9,700. But this is a really tough pitcher pool, guys, like I was just showing you a minute ago. You got like Freddie Peralta versus LA. I don't like him. He had a bad game coming out. Garrett Cole could be a good play versus New York, but could be a very risky play too. They could fucking light his ass up. You never know. Aaron Nola had a rough outing coming out, and don't really trust him against Washington tomorrow either. Don't trust Zach Greinke either against Texas. He does have the high upside there, but he's been looking kind of shitty this year too. I think, age does catch up with these pitchers, unfortunately. German Marquez, I actually do like tomorrow against Atlanta, kind of. He does have the high upside. He's had two freaking amazing games that starting out this year, averaging 26 fantasy points. So I don't disagree with throwing him in some GPPs, but not in the cash play. Moving on, so for the SP2 for this slate, I went with Joey Lucchesi for the San Diego Padres. Just going back to, I love picking on the Giants, guys. San Francisco Giants, they have a couple of good hitters in their lineups, but nothing too impressive. Joey Lucchesi is priced up today for this game because of that at 9,200. But it is very possible to pair Steven Strasburg and Lucchesi together and still get some decent bats in there with them. So I do like this pairing, guys. Joey Lucchesi has started out very strong this year. He came out with a 24 and a 27 in his first two games of the year. Against the Giants, the smaller sample pool that he does have, he is got a 150 batting average versus the Giants, and they're only hitting 3 for 20 versus Joey Lucchesi. So I really like him here in this spot. This guy's 68 draft dash ranking. I think probably because his salary is priced up. But I think against the Giants, he has the upside here. If you like, against his last two games, he killed it, and the Giants suck. So I think he's gonna crush it against the Giants tomorrow. So that's who I'm going with, my SP2, Joey Lucchesi. All right, so we'll talk about the bats now. I'll go ahead and go right into it, guys. Best pick that I have here out of all the bats, Christian Yelich. This guy is, everybody it's kind of an obvious play. I have to highlight him because he's in a really good spot. Last 5 games, 23, 4, a 16, a 9, and an 8. 7, 5, 23, and 2 goose eggs his last 5 versus LA. He is hitting 10 for 27 versus a really shitty pitcher of Harvey. Matt Harvey gives up a 910 OPS versus lefty batters. Christian Yelich hits his best bats against righty pitchers with a 915 OPS. He does have 8 singles, 1 double, and 1 home run in his career versus Matt Harvey with a 370 batting average. Christian Yelich is going to be priced at 5,300, and I'm willing to pay every freaking dollar for Christian Yelich on this slate. He has a really high upside to pay off that price tag. I really like Christian Yelich in this spot. He didn't hit a home run in this past game. He did have a couple of hits and made value, but I think that'll change tomorrow against Matt Harvey. I think he'll hit a home run for sure against Matt Harvey. So lock in Christian Yelich in your lineup, guys. Moving on to the next batter that I have, going right back to the well, Mr. Consistent Whit Merrifield. This guy just consistently puts up the numbers that you need for his price tag, and I still don't understand this guy. I'll keep saying it, I'll say it again. DraftKings does not price him up. He's constantly hovering around this $4,200 to $4,500 price range. And considering what he does and the numbers that he puts up, he always makes value, guys. This is a lock for a cash play. I'll let you know that. It should be no secret. Whit Merrifield's last 5 games, he got an 18, a 14, a 7, a 7, and a 5. Last 5 versus Seattle, he has a 3, 11, a 6, a 5, and a 10. He bats leadoff in the lineup for the Royals. In this matchup versus Marco Gonzalez, it's a really good matchup in Whit Merrifield's favor. It's really why I like him here a lot today too. He is batting 5 for 9 versus Gonzalez. He has a 1.445 OPS. It's fucking amazing. 4 singles and 1 home run with a 556 batting average. Marco Gonzalez is giving up an 867 OPS to righty batters, and Whit Merrifield is a righty batter batting best against lefty pitchers with an 876 OPS there. Plus 28 percent advantage in Whit Merrifield's favor. I really like him here in this spot, guys. Lock him in. Next up is Chris Davis. Chris Davis has actually been, a little bit cold here lately. Hitting a 3, a 0, a 10, a 0, and a 4. Last 5 versus Baltimore, he has a 5, a 7, an 8, a 2, and a 16. He is priced at $5,400 today, and today I am willing to pay up for Chris Davis. And I think that he's going to turn this slump around today, guys. He has a really, really good matchup. He's batting cleanup, number 4 in the order. As you can see with this crown right here, Draft Dashboard really, really likes this guy today. He has a 97 Draft Dashboard ranking. 30 ranking for the pitcher. Means is a really, really shitty pitcher. If you look at the matchup here, guys, Means is giving up a 2.200 OPS versus righty batters. While Chris Davis does hit righty pitchers a little bit better than lefties. He still hits lefty pitchers really well with an 828 OPS. He does have a plus 50% advantage over lefty pitcher John Means. And I really like Chris Davis here in the spot, guys. I think he's going to be one of those guys on the slate tomorrow that either hits 1 home run or maybe even 2. So lock in Chris Davis. I wouldn't say put him in 100% of your lineups, but because he has been on a slump lately. But this guy he's got so much freaking upside here. It's hard to ignore it. So definitely fit him in somewhere, guys. 5,400. If he goes off like what his matchup says like he should, then he will do really well tomorrow, guys. So get some Chris Davis in there. Next up for the last play of the core tonight is going to be Stephen Piscotty. Stephen Piscotty is batting last 5 games. He's gotten a 4, a 10, a 2, a 35, and a 4. And his last 5 versus Baltimore, he's got a 14, a 5, a 13, a 0, and a 0. I just really like this matchup. I'm going to be stacking this team tomorrow, stacking this game. Oakland is in a really good spot against a shitty pitcher tomorrow. I don't know how long he's going to actually pitch in the game. If Oakland just starts lighting his ass up like in the first couple of innings, he might disappear really, really quick. But I think that I really like this little mini stack here. Stephen Piscotty is batting in the number 3 spot, while Chris Davis in the number 4 spot. So if you look for him, Stephen Piscotty could possibly get a double right before Chris Davis knocks in a home run. And if you stack those 2 guys together in a lineup, guys, you're going to crush value right away on that. If that scenario was to happen, which with these matchup stats does have a very likely possibility to happen, guys. Stephen Piscotty does have a plus 61 advantage over the pitcher. Again, John Means has 2.200 OPS that he's giving up for righty batters. Stephen Piscotty hits his best pitches against lefty pitchers with an 818 OPS versus lefties. He has an 80 Draft Dashboard ranking. I really think he has a huge opportunity to crush his value today. He's priced at $4,600. That's it's pretty priced up, but there's a reason why Stephen Piscotty and Chris Davis are priced up a little bit more than what they normally are, guys. They are in a fucking smash spot tomorrow. So get these guys in your lineups. It's too good of a matchup to ignore. So that is it for the core players that I have for my lineup. And then for my sleeper play today, I'm going to go with Nick Markakis. Not too much of a sleeper play, I'd say, because they are playing in Colorado. But I just think that there's a lot more other stuff going on the slate that I think that Nick Markakis is going to go underlooked. Um, he is going up against German Marquez, which, I mean, German Marquez has, I think, like a 25 and a 27 for his first two games pitching. Like I was saying earlier, he is a really, really good pitcher, and really, like, he usually gets about 7 to 10 strikeouts per game, somewhere around his average. But if you look at the history here, Nick Markakis is hitting German Marquez 5 for 11 with a batting average of 455. I like that sample size. It's good enough for a batter. It means that they've got some pretty decent history. Been up at each other a few times. He has a 1.417 OPS versus Marquez, hitting 3 singles and 2 home runs. Nick Markakis has been, I mean, it says his last 5 games are a 2.00, 37, and a 7, but his batting average says, different than those couple of zeros that are in there. This guy is batting over 300 batting average. He's on fire. He hits this guy really well, almost a 500 batting average. He has a plus 19% advantage over German Marquez. German Marquez giving up an 847 OPS to Nick Markakis' 788 OPS. I really like this matchup, guys. So does Draft Dashboard, as you can see with the crown there. Nick Markakis is hitting in 5th in the order. Coors Field, everybody knows, is high scoring. I think that Atlanta will put up at least 4 or 5 runs against German Marquez tomorrow before he gets taken out of the game. I don't think that German Marquez is going to have one of those smash games tomorrow where he puts up 25 or 27. I think he's looking more at like 12 to 15 probably pitching in Coors Field. So look for Atlanta Braves to crush it against the Rockies again tomorrow. Unfortunately, I have to say that I am a Rockies fan, but tough to be one lately. They've been shitting the bed every single day. So I don't see why they're not going to shit the bed again tomorrow against the Atlanta Braves. So look for that to happen, and look for Nick Markakis to hit the ball out of Coors Field. And guys, that's going to do it for my video. I really, really appreciate it. Until tomorrow's video, as always, make lots of money, and DFS Riddler out.